So I grew up very exposed to, crime, drugs, the whole nine. And I got myself very involved very early. I was already smoking weed at 9 years old. By the time I was 12, I was already dealing it, started running with a street gang. And, found myself in the very typical, way of being when you're brought up in that type of environment. So I was just a product of what I seen. And I would witness, my stepdad, for instance, like coming back with his friends from gunfights, and everybody's got bullet wounds in their legs and arms. And, I remember one of his friends died after one shootout that they had. And so I was very, very exposed to this. I would wake up and see, kilos of dope, cocaine on the table as a kid. And that was normal for me. Going forward, I was introduced to religion first by my grandfather, who was a Sunni Muslim. So I first learned Islam. He came to live with us. He converted to Islam in prison. He spent most of his life in prison. So when he finally got out on parole for, I think he was only out for maybe a year before he ended up going back to prison. Yeah. So when he came to live with us, I prayed with him 5 times a day. He would take me to the mosque and everything else.
Was he a knowledgeable Muslim? Was he knowledgeable in
He was very knowledgeable. Oh, he was very, very smart.
It's my hope that I know you, my desire that I show you, gratitude that I owe you. Cause I was in that creeper's no-go until you came and dust off and revealed my spark. I was searching for the essence of existence, wanted to find you, but I didn't see an entrance. I came from a distance where everything was different. I called out to you and you showed me that you listen.
Fast forwarding a bit, later on that year, I started going to this hip-hop program because a friend of mine, and it happened to be at this Union Gospel Mission, which was a Christian organization. So I started going there because they had a music program, and this was my way to get out of, get out all my expression and anger and whatever. And I'd already loved music. I recorded my first professional album already, or a few songs already by this time. So I came back, and it was good for me. At that same time, shortly after that, I got a new chance from the school district. They allowed me to go back into a regular school. So after 2 years in alternative school, they allowed me to go back to a regular public high school. And I ended up going to high school, which was really good because the high school I was going into was a place where, not only did not a lot of people graduate, but, most people graduated to the streets. They got in a lot of trouble after that high school. So low test scores, very low in education, which is a horrible. America's already horrible. So if you go to an American school that's last in education, it's horrible.
I'm on it like you on it. I be there like Jackson's 5. You waiting but you can't sit. I'm running behind the lines. Good things be so hard to find. You know I be with you. We've been cool since 99. We done had some issues.
I felt like I had some type of insight that nobody else
had. A revelation, huh?
And but I didn't know what it was. I still didn't know, and I felt like I didn't belong. And something in my head kept saying, "You don't belong here. You don't belong here." And I have no idea, but it was pulling, and it was so crazy. And it was like a moment. I always say I ate a chicken nugget and it went away. But
I can do my best, though. I'ma show you to the world I'm holding. I won't let go. Treat you like my.
I had always felt. And I even had a dream years ago, like a very, very strong dream that never left me. But I always have felt that God had a major reason for why I was supposed to be in the world, and that I was supposed to be living my life for Him and bringing many people to Him. I always felt that. Now, the whole time I'm personifying this gangster thing, all this other stuff, I always had in my head, there's a watch. So at some point he's gonna pull the plug on me, and I hope that I'm able to get out alive before before he pulls the plug.